G'day, everybody. Peps and J-Dog here for a massive, huge round 15 review for the AFL season. The slate's out. How you want your footy live on Tuesday night. It's me, Chris Pepper, the 377-game superstar of the East Keilor Football Club. And, well, let's put it this way. Batman had Robin. Superman had Lois. Dirk Diggler had Roller Girl. And Peps, as the co-host, he is the mostest. It's the J-Dog, Jamie Wallace, the superstar, the man we can't do the show without, the newsbreaker, the news hound, the toe ball of this team. How you going, big boy?
Hi, Peps. I'm very well. I tell you what, I felt like Moses just then. I had people texting me going, "Where's the show tonight? What's happening with the show?" I was looking up. I'm in the Red Sea. I'm on the seabed. I'm looking up, and there's just a wave coming at me of people going, "Where is Lace out tonight?"
Well, it has to do with me. A few technical issues. My laptop wouldn't start, so I couldn't record anything. But just to look to all the husbands out there, I just want to put this one out to you. After a hard day's work, you want to get in the kitchen and help your wife because she's on school holidays at the moment. My wife, Narelle, absolute legend, cooking tea. She decided to make a pork stroganoff. How good does that taste? Pork stroganoff. And she'd spent I reckon at least an hour putting the sauce together, the onions, the sour cream, the mushrooms, simmering it down, thickening the sauce, etc. And then a certain individual who will remain nameless, me, was trying to put a bet on for the next coach of Collingwood due to a hot tip that I received. And as I went to hit submit, I turned around and my little finger hit the fry pan and knocked the complete sauce onto the floor. So there is a reason why the Lace Out episode is a little bit later this evening, is just the simple fact that I wasn't in a very good mood and in a very good position to join the show a little bit earlier than we ought to. So to all the husbands out there, if the wife is cooking something delicious, and also to the wives out there, if the husband is cooking something delicious, stay out of their way. Sit on the couch, do nothing.
What did you do to recover that situation? Peps, did you have sandwiches after that? What did you do?
She remade it.
Oh. You are too spoiled. I would have said, stiff shit, big boy. You stuffed the sauce. We're having sangers. We're having toasted sandwich with the stuffing, with the filling bits.
I stuffed it. So I just want to say that's why there's been a bit of a delay to the show. The texts were flying through. The chatter messages were flying through. What is going on? Hi to everybody joining us on the stream tonight. Hello, everybody listening on the podcast universe, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Al Jazeera Podcasts, whatever podcast platform you're listening on. Welcome to Lace Out, because it is, let's just say it now, Jamie, the shit is hit the fan. When it comes to what's going on with the AFL season. So I'm going to hand it over to the newsbreaker, the co-host with the most, Jamie Wallace, around the grounds. Let's just get straight into it.
We're going straight into it.
COVID is literally going to ruin the season if things don't get back on track shortly. What's going on? What's all the updates? Get into it.
Pretty much. All right. So a bit of destination Melbourne for a lot of our clubs interstate. So at the moment, I think everyone is now touched in Melbourne. We've got the Suns, the Lions. They'll delay getting away from Queensland today. Everywhere barring South Australia, Victoria, and I think Tassie has been declared a hotspot, a nice red zone hotspot. So basically all these clubs, Suns, Lions, Freo, Eagles, they all had to make their way to Victoria to not hub, Peps. I don't want to hear you say the word hub because the AFL does not want us to use the word hub.
Oh, Jesus. But it's not tanking. It's not tanking.
So everyone has basically come to Victoria or South Australia to keep the season going because there's essentially nowhere to play. COVID-16, round 16 fixture has been thrown into absolute disarray. I tell you what,
half the country's locked down.
It feels pretty much like we're on the knife's edge right tonight from having the season postponed for 2021 again.
Yeah, there was almost a chance this show could have been locked down due to COVID. That's how close we were, or I could have been castrated after Fry Pan Gate. Saucepan Gate this evening.
Yeah.
Look, it is absolutely nuts what's going on at the moment. You've got clubs flying in, teams have no idea, and after an absolutely mind-bending round of football as well too, this is just nuts. Now, I actually think COVID may have hit one of our listeners already. Milne's joined us right now. I saw Milne on Saturday. Tell you what, he sits at about 5 foot. He sits at less than 5 foot in height, this bloke, right? But his Saints had a massive win on the Friday, and he reckons the episode should spend 40 minutes on their Saints and their 40-point win.
I did call
he
that.
might have a point there. He might have a point there. And look, you did call it, but funny enough, though, the little fella has actually given you, as well as that, he's given you a bit of a get a dog up your J-dog.
I've copped a drive-by. I copped a drive-by when I was the one who said, Richmond, this is a danger game for Richmond. I've copped the drive-by.
You've copped a drive-by from a midget. Like, literally.
Odd job from Bond.
Smaller than that. He can't go on the adult rides at Luna Park because of his height, all right? So I said to him on Saturday, I said, he's 5'5" with boots. What, boots that Gene Simmons wore? 12-inch stilettos. I said to Milne on the weekend, I said, Milne, I'm going to give the Saints a pump up. They might even be in my votes this week because what they pulled out on Friday night was sensational. So I don't want to address that too early because this COVID situation is massive, not just from a footy frenzy perspective, or as we like to call it, footy fiesta.
Yeah.
But it also could put the jeopardy of some teams, top 4 potential teams, if they have to play a lot more of their games at home rather than away, it might turn the finals on their head. And teams that were potentially looking at top 4s may not be there, and teams that were potentially not going to make it might have a bit more of an advantage.
Yeah. So
there's a lot to play out here.
Clubs have been basically told to brace for 2 weeks at a minimum at this moment. But who knows with what we know about COVID, and now we've got the variant 2 or the Delta variant. This shit travels fast and it locks shit down fast.
Excuse me, can you please refer to it by its accurate name?
What's that one, Peps?
The Tendulkar variant. Remember, we called it last week. It is not the D variant. It is the Tendulkar.
It's true.
Solid, nothing can get through it, impenetrable. Takes on anybody.
So that is where we are. That is the current state of play. And we're going to talk about round 16 and some changes to the fixtures when we look at the ladder in the next little bit. So at the moment, Peps, it does have that whole 2020 feel about it right now, doesn't it?
Well, I hope not. I hope not, because Melbourne was shit last year, and I don't want them to go backwards. But look, there are some teams, hopefully, if you're Richmond supporters, you want it to be 2020 again. I think there is, but I don't think it's going to be as bad. I reckon these lockdowns for the next couple of weeks, we saw it happen at the start of the year when Victoria locked down for a little bit and it was able to reduce it quite quickly.
Yeah, Brisbane got locked down for a couple. They couldn't fly back into Brisbane for a couple of weeks.
Exactly. So I don't think it's going to be as bad. A lot of it was to do with just locking down borders left, right, and centre, and that's what made it difficult.
Yeah.
I think that the thing with Victoria, though, is yes, there's going to be more teams. And I'm going to get onto that in a minute.
Yeah.
I think it's going to affect more teams, but there's more grounds to play on. And with Tasmania having those extra grounds down there, I think that's going to be a bit of a benefit. I would love to see some games going out to Ballarat because they've got a stadium out there. So if you play MCG, Marvel, GMHBA, Mars Stadium, then you've also got the 2 stadiums down in Tasmania. That brings it to 6.
Well, don't stop there, Peps. Let's let the imagination run a bit wild. You've got Casey Fields out for Melbourne. That's a cracking venue.
Yep. How about, you know what I reckon where they should play, and a few of the people on the chat would know this. I reckon they should play a few games down at the brand new Overland Reserve at East Keilor. Sensational club rooms, and they can play football. They can experience the Chris Pepper wing where games were decided and legends were made and careers were ended.
We decided not to talk about this off show because you promised me a day in the Jimmies on the hill there talking shit to the East Keilor.
Oh,
that what's it called? That stadium. It's finished.
It's all opened. It's all good, J-Dog.
That's now been what, 20, 30 weeks been open for now, and you haven't even
it opened last week. Council issues. council issues, all right? Local councils,
Okay.
doesn't really matter.
Well,
But
we're
yeah,
gonna
I
go down-
think
I'm gonna go
COVID's
down
going to
one
mess
day.
things up as well too. So, all righty. We can spend a bit more time talking about that, but I really want to have a quick look at last week's ladder into this week as well, because there's so many things that come out of this round of footy. So let's just have a quick punch up here. Look, got it up on the screen at the moment. If you can't see it, what did you say?
You said punch up, a quick punch up here.
Quick punch up on the screen, I said.
Okay.
So Melbourne are at the top, 48 points, game clear of the Western Bulldogs. Geez, they were good last week as well too. We're looking at the Brisbane Lions on 40, same as Port Adelaide, Geelong, Sydney Swans on 32, West Coast on 32. St Kilda's version of Richmond is now Bitchmond, apparently, according to Milne, 28, same as Fremantle. So they are sniffing. GWS and Essendon losing on the weekend just makes it a little bit harder for them. You've then got Carlton and Adelaide Crows on 20, Collingwood, Gold Coast, Hawthorn, and another win to North Melbourne. So it's setting things up at the top 8 nicely, but there, a few weeks ago, we said, is the top 8 set? And we pretty much said yes. But just some of the results that are occurring, you've got 4 teams sitting within a game.
One of those teams will be in my votes later.
Ooh, very, very nice. But it was
top 5's locked. Top 5's locked now. That's
I think
done.
top 5 is locked. I think the top 4 is almost there. I think the danger. Funny enough, I actually think the danger team to drop out of that top 8 is Brisbane.
Oh, okay.
In that top 4. If they have to play a lot more of their games down in Melbourne rather than in Queensland, I think that's going to affect them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that might potentially drop them out because I think Melbourne are 2 games in. They only have to win half their games to stay there.
Yeah.
Western Bulldogs have got a great run. Brisbane, I don't know what's going on with them. And Port Adelaide and Geelong. So I think it's going to come in. I think it's going to come down to potentially Geelong and Brisbane for that last spot. I think that you've got a few games at home, which might make a bit of a difference, but you're not playing that well. So that's another story in itself.
No.
Yep. So there's the ladder at the moment. If you had to say someone to drop out and someone to drop in, who would it be?
Out of the top 8?
Yep.
Oh, maybe Richmond.
I reckon there could be 1, potentially 2 changes. I think Richmond's run at the end of the season is going to be quite nice where they'll be able to stay in. I think West Coast, if they have to come and spend all their time over here, we know they can't play away.
Well,
they're
they
going to
can't
be in
play at
massive
home.
trouble. Well, they can't do anything at the moment. They're the ones that are potentially going to fall out. And I'd love to see who would you rather have, Essendon or Fremantle in the finals? Okay, on the count of 3, say it. 1, 2, 3.
Fremantle. Yeah.
Just to see all the Essendon supporters say that the umpires cost them a final spot.
Oh, Peps, did you leave the game early Friday on Saturday night?
I went on Saturday night and I had to leave with 10 minutes to go.
You're bullshit. You are bullshit.
I couldn't handle it, mate.
I
literally could not handle it.
Bullshit.
Myself and Big Trevor exactly the same. We couldn't handle it.
Just
and then I realised why, because I found
bar.
out I was sitting in the Essendon members section. No wonder why I couldn't handle it. I was getting overawed.
Just go to the bar for a little bit. Just watch the last 10 minutes at the bar.
Look, by the way, I'll cover that in my votes because I'm going to cover something in my votes which relates to that.
Okay.
But some cracking games on the weekend. So, hey, do you want to get into these? Do you want to get into these votes?
Let's go for it.
All right, let's get into it. All right. So let's start with our. Let's start with the good ones. Let's start with the good ones first and foremost. So let's go with the votes. So are you there? We're just looking for our favourite person.
3 votes.
3 votes. J-Dog, let's get you to start with the votes, and then I'll do the middle section and bring it home for you. So give us your
3 votes.
All right. My theme this week, Peps, is class.
Oh, all right.
Bulldogs showed an absolute terrible West Coast team with all of those ins last week. What they had through the midfield, right through to the forward line, and they tore the West Coast apart with their pure
class.
Thank you very much, Peps.
Class.
Second one. These boys I called a danger game on Friday, and you laughed at me and said this game's over at quarter time. The St Kilda
Come
Football
on, man. You
Club,
can't. If you're going by the history, we had a right to say that.
St Kilda Football Club held a classless Richmond team to 2 goals for the whole game. 2 goals, Peps.
Do you know that Dustin
Yeah.
Martin had won more Norm Smiths than Richmond kicked goals on Friday night?
St Kilda looked like a very classy outfit against Richmond. So for that, you are showing all class, St Kilda, and you get a
Plenty of class.
massive tick from me. Everything seemed to work. Marshall, Ryder, it all seemed to just work.
They've
there.
got to play together, don't they? Marshall and Ryder
They do.
have to play together.
Was
Like
it
the Saints
11
people,
wins?
you gotta say that they're going to make it. They're going to make it. They have to make it. Have to make it.
All right. Last one. If there is a club that you looked at 4 years ago and thought, how the fuck are they doing this? It is this team right here. Brisbane showed an absolute endless pool of class that they have through every line of that club. And you think, how the hell did they get there and do that? But they've done it. 3 years
Do you know
ago,
why? Why is that, Jamie? How did they do it?
because they've got absolute classy.
Class.
They've got a great coach. They've recruited well. They've done the smart thing. They've used the way that they bring players in who maybe are a little bit hard luck by the AFL Melbourne system, and they've got them there. And that team made Geelong look shit.
Well, it is Dad's Army. We've been saying it for a while. Dad's Army has to hit it. And you have a look at people like Jared Lyons, who Gold Coast let go.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln McCarthy couldn't get a game at Geelong. Marcus Adams, he looked amazing when he was down to the Doggies. Unfortunately, got hit with injuries.
Yep.
He has just stepped in superb into that back line. It is just awesome. It is just awesome to see. And look, if Melbourne Doggies or Brisbane won the flag, I'd be pumped. Obviously, I'd go with my team.
Yeah.
But if the Brisbane or the Doggies won it again, I'd be pumped for that because they're all three teams are playing classy football, which I really enjoy. All right.
Excellent. Your Peps. Who's your 3 votes?
All right. So my votes. Oh, look, I've got to give the first one to a guy who's been much maligned by his supporters for a number of years now. But on the end, he did something which has happened a couple times this season. But when you put this name and what happened together, you had to look twice. Tim O'Brien, the mark that he took at full forward, OMG, like, is that going to be the turning point for him? That to show that he can do it?
Jackie Chandy's Tim out in the face.
Oh, it was just a beautiful flight. Now they're saying it was better than Bolton's. Even on par, I still think Rewalt's mark, where he ran into the pack front on and then twisted, I think that's got a little bit more to it. So I'm going with that one. But it was an absolute cracker, and that is what makes our game the single greatest sport in the world, is the fact that he came in 4 deep, flew, took the mark, and just put himself up in the highlight reel. And like I said, hopefully that just gives him a little confidence that he can do it day in, day out.
Yep.
Right, now, my 2 votes, I've already spoken about this team. You know who I'm talking about. Everybody knows who I'm going to mention now. It's a team that I love to call Shit Kilda.
Mm-hmm.
But this week you're going to be the Saints. Not St Kilda, the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Because you drove Bitchmond to hell with what you rolled out on that Friday night. I did not see it coming. I thought you'd get pantsed completely get pantsed. And we've got a right to. You've been so underwhelming all year after what you served up last year. But that was the best performance that you've put in all season. I'd actually even go close to say for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was hard football. You stopped Richmond from whatever they were going to do. They just looked lethargic.
Yeah.
They didn't like that they want to be there. And Ryder and Marshall have to play every single week.
Yeah.
You have to play 2 big men.
Have to.
It's working for Jackson and Gawn. You have to do it because Ryder, when he goes forward, he gives Marshall the chop out and vice versa, and it just works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. they showed a lot more spunk than I've seen St Kilda for a long time. So you just didn't get a thumbs up. You got votes this week. That's how good it was. But it was overtaken by an absolute super Saturday of football. There were 4 games on the weekend, 4 games on Saturday. And there was an average winning margin of 11 points across all those games.
Yep.
There was a 9, a 10, 11, and 12. It was just great football across. And there's a Netflix series called Drive to Survive, all about Formula One. And I'm not a big Formula One head, but I've really enjoyed it for the simple fact it doesn't focus on the teams at the top of the ladder. It focuses on those teams that are sitting in the midway point. You know, they haven't got the biggest budgets, they don't have the best lists, but it's that mid-range type of game. And that's what happened on the weekend, where there was some mid-range games, and it was just good, honest football to watch. And so it was hard, it was competitive, it was winter football. And that's what, once again, makes our game. And they were, in terms of scoring-wise, they weren't too bad as well. So for the 8 teams that played on a super Saturday, and even if we went on to the Sunday, there was a couple of cracking games on the Sunday as well too, which was really good to see. So, football, we do have weeks where it's just a demolition, but this week, I think if you have a look at the games, there was a lot more better ones than, let's go shopping or go to the movies or put on another Parks and Recreation binge. It was really good to see.
Outside of Thursday and Friday night, all the games during the week were good.
But even Thursday and Friday night, they were both good games to watch because how they were played was just dominant.
Correct. Not like the 9, 10, 11, 12 games on Saturday.
No. A different type. It was just solid, free-flowing football for the Friday night. Same with the Thursday night. It was grunt. It was hard. It was tough on Saturday. And there was some good wins on the weekend as well across the board, which we'll get into shortly. But it's just nice to come in and talk about some good football for a change.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah. Rightio, big fella. You know who it's time for, don't you?
I do, Peps.
Time for this bloke.
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weak as piss.
All right, Barras, let's have a look who's getting... Now, by the way, before I go into the votes, if anybody listening to this magnificent podcast today is an artist or a graphic designer, we need your help. We need a T-shirt designed. So can you just drop us a message on the Facebook page or drop us an email at laceoutpodcast@gmail.com and let us know, because we want to collab and get a T-shirt done. And we're not artists. We're podcastists. So if you can help us, we would love to hear from you. All right.
Well, even that's debatable, Peps, that last part.
Oh, maybe you are, but I'm a gun. All rightio. So first and foremost, one vote.
All right. So for me,
no, let me start. You go. You went first last time. I'll go first on this one. You come home. All right. Right. First and foremost, Zach Williams and Tom Stewart. There's a couple of nuffies that are so super tough, they think that there's nothing better than driving your head into the turf after the ball's gone. Nice and tough. Look at me. But once again, the stupid MRO decide to say one was worse than the other because one guy drove their head into the artificial turf and the other guy did it in the grass. It was the exact same action, but because one was on artificial turf and one was on the normal turf, nothing happens to one. We give the other. Just, is it the action or we're looking for here? Team.
I've been advised not to talk about this from my doctor. It gets my blood too angry.
Oh, it's just
bubbles my blood.
Frustrating. All right. Now, second of all, here's another one that gets my blood boiling more than anything. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. All right. Now, I normally, Jamie, just a quick question. When you watch the footy, how do you watch it? Just do you watch it like this with both your eyes open, or do you watch it with one eye open?
I'll do this.
Okay, so it's 2 eyes, all right? And I predict, 17 teams out there watching with 17 teams watching with their both eyes open.
Mm-hmm.
Essendon supporters, watch football games with 2 eyes open, all right? If I have to hear, we're on Tuesday right now. If I've heard for literally 3 days how the umpires cost you the game on the weekend.
Rob.
The umpires didn't cost you the game on the weekend.
Rob.
The final free kick count right? There was 4 free kicks difference in the whole game. Now, if you want to have a game with me where you show me where you were robbed a free kick, I'll show you another one exactly the same way. The umpires did not. The umpires did not. Oh, here we go. Rocco. So Rocco Matafari. He's on the chat tonight. By the way, his son is a superstar. He wears the number 6, right? Yes, it was a 100-meter goal because the first guy, I must admit, was Archie Perkins, was a bit stiff because he came in, he didn't have to do much.
He stood there. He stood and did what he told you to do.
Right. That's wrong. That one I definitely agree with. I didn't say
Cost
that.
a goal. Cost a
Hey,
goal. So now we're 6 points up now.
right. But the other 50 was for Devon Smith, who didn't shut up towards the umpire. And the umpire said, mate, literally, shut it, shut it, shut it, shut it.
Oh.
And then he gave it away. His fault. Oh, I'm sorry. You had 2 frees to 8 in the first half. That's a fair point. And then in the second half, I think you might have had something like 11 to.
Tell
6.
you what.
All right.
Melbourne.
So you had more in the second half than we did? Okay. So you got a better run of it in the second half. Here's an idea. Watch the video again of that last quarter. Jake Stringer, here's an idea. Lower your eyes instead of trying to be the package and deliver overnight. Okay. There was some, how many times could he have hit people in that forward 50? No. I'm going to be the glory hunter. So don't give me that bananas. It was the umpires all the way. You were beaten by a team that did more. And mind you, the other team had 12 marks inside 50 where you had 2. So if Melbourne had kicked straight, it would have been 5 goals at three-quarter time, and it wasn't. So
Melbourne are starting to get the protected species about them going on. They can do 720s and tackles and 1080s and double black heel flip slides. They can do anything. Protected species there at Melbourne.
Well, Jamie.
Poor Essen couldn't even look at the ball without getting done for holding it.
Well, you know what? If you want to bomb it to Lever and May all night, go right ahead. That's for all I care.
Well, it's starting to get the Western Bulldogs smell at it.
And last but not least, they might be top-end teams, but they were big-time losers on the weekend. Tigers by 40. Cats by 44. West Coast by 55. If we told you that those teams were sitting in the 8, they've put their time and time again opportunity to either cement their spot in the 8 or top 4, completely lost it. All right. So you've got no one to blame but yourselves, but does that get to show that West Coast's one-trick pony at home got beaten by a better team?
Beaten twice this season. 2 weeks in a row.
Tigers, 40 points at home. I don't think the hunger's there. And the Cats, well, I told you what. When half your players are lining up for the pension every week, it's going to be a little bit hard to beat the young fellas across there. Oh, and by the way, if you want to talk about losses, didn't we lose a game by 1 point when there should have been a free kick? But we didn't go on about it. So it happens to everybody. That's why 3 votes, you're dragged.
All right. Mine.
And look at everybody agreeing with me. Everybody agrees with me.
All right. Mine are... what are we up to? Are we doing the positive or the negatives, Peps?
The negative, Jamie. The negative.
Good. Okay, good.
Tune in, big fella.
I'm just too busy trying to have fun with what you're saying because you're just you're sooking it up against other sooks of the AFL, and I love it.
But we're on the top of the ladder. We can sook.
That's true. All right. So
it's just shit.
First ones. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have a theme here, Peps. Once again, a theme, and let's call it failure to launch.
Hey, good movie with Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson.
Never seen it. Anyway, so Giants, what an opportunity you let slip.
Oh.
What an opportunity you let slip against the lowly placed Hawthorn Football Club. You could have, by burying that game and putting in quite a bit of distance, jumped yourselves into the top 8, which people thought about 6 weeks ago was almost impossible. You could have done that, but you decided to fail to launch. Shithouse.
Rejected!
Let's look at the next one. Richmond have all but done their dash for a top 4 this year. Second chance, not here.
No second chance, Robbo.
They had a chance to launch and bury St Kilda when we were looking at it from the outset. I don't know what's wrong. I'm not a coach. I'm not paid $1 million and hub life and all those sorts of things. But something looks off, and they are going to struggle to win the premiership from this position now on, because they had a chance to jump into the top 4 conversation. Now, they're going to be in a fight for the 8.
Boom shakalaka!
Finally, Geelong.
Oh, what was that?
I know the game was tough. I understand it was a tough game, but taking the form that you were having into this game against Brisbane Lions, I expected maybe a little bit better. I didn't expect to be completely blown out, but a win would have all but sealed the top 4 for moving forward. But unfortunately, you lost, and Port Adelaide find themselves a percentage, and now you're in a 3-way battle against Suns, us, Port Adelaide.
Suns?
Not the Suns, Swans.
Mate, don't worry about the Swans. They're cooked, mate. The Swans are done.
Hey, they're still there.
Mate.
Hey, Buddy turned on 3 goals in the last quarter against us.
Hey, he's getting close to that 1,000.
I was shitting myself. I was like, this game's lost. Anyway, so they're my team. Giants, Richmond, Geelong. Absolute failures to launch, because you really have potentially stuffed your whole season up already.
Oh, J-Dog, all I can simply say, mate, you are
He's on fire!
on fire, my friend. Now we're getting some stuff coming through on the chat right now, and it is
go through some bits.
It is awesome. Rightio. Apparently, it's the loss that we had to have.
Okay, Geelong supporter there, Jared Hodgetts. Hey,
yep.
The
Sean
man
Higgins is completely finished. Jordan Clark can't get a game, but Higgins can. I agree. I'd take Clark any day of the week. Gold Coast is shit. Oh, please leave my. There's something not right there. There is something not right there. We'll leave that one alone. Essendon supporters are sooks, boo-hoo. See, people agree with me. 100% correct, Peps, once again. What else have we got? The Booers didn't sook it up when the same umps gave them 3 of their 8 goals, including 1 over the line. Oh, exactly right. Did you see that one?
I did.
He virtually had his foot in the crotch of the cheer squad members. Yeah. He was that far across the line.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Umpiring's been bad. You can't do anything about it. All right. And I just think that it's a dynasty. The doggies could have a dynasty. There's just so much coming through at the moment. That's why we love our Facebook community. We lace our community, everybody on the chat as well too. So, rightio. J-Dog, what else have you got on the plateau of news?
All right. So we spoke about it at the top, but there have been some changes to round 16 moving forward now with all the COVID changes coming in. One change, 7:20 p.m. Suns, Giants, round 17 clash for round 7, not 16, but for round 17. Could have to be moved to Ballarat. So the Gold Coast GWS clash is going to be moved, or likely to be moved down to Ballarat. Once again, to try and free up some spots for the other games going on and keep this season alive, hopefully.
Hey, they might go down to Sovereign Hill, go down to the Mars factory for a bit of a tour and see some of the sites down there. Maybe go to Creswick, do the hedge maze.
There could be.
There is a bit there to do too. So, look, I think we might have to squeeze a few of them in. I think we might have to do a bit of a footy fiesta. But I think some of the teams who've got a bit of a gap at the top, Doggies, D's, potentially they're going to be the beneficiaries of it as well too. So something definitely there.
A bit of movement going on in round 16. So just keep your eyes glued to your TVs, to your Facebooks, to your whatever.
Just
you look at.
keep your eyes glued to the to your Spotify feed or your Google podcast feed, because when we know, you'll know, and Tipped Out this week will definitely be altering their selections based on where teams are going to be playing. We don't even know that at this stage.
Dockers Blues maybe could move to Tasmania. That's one there. So who knows? Who knows how they're going to keep it all going at the moment?
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. But I will say one thing, though, is that apparently I've heard on the Twitter sphere, Jamie, because this one snuck completely under the radar, and if anybody on the chat knows this or anybody listening to this right now knows, apparently Collingwood are looking for a new coach.
Get out of here.
No, apparently they're looking for a new coach. First time I heard about it, they've put a board together. They've put a group of people together to select this subcommittee, and they're thinking of appointing someone. So have you got a bit of an update on that? What's going on?
I do. They have got a group of 5 now looking for a new coach, and no guesses as to who do you think is top of that list?
C. Judd.
Close.
Cross line.
S. Mitchell.
So, do you reckon Sam Mitchell will leave Hawthorn though?
Peps, I don't know. I'm still this. Make Vossi coach again. I'm still.
He probably would be a better coach second time round.
So Luke Ball was added to as a 5th member to the panel to find their new coach, and he joins Football Director Paul Licuria, fellow board member Peter Murphy, Chief Executive Mark Anderson, and Head of Football Graham Wright on the coaching subcommittee. So it's good to see that Collingwood are really branching out and getting maybe some other people's perspectives on who the coach could be.
Yeah, look, no doubt that they've stretched their arms wide and said, "Yep, we're going to stretch to the far end of the earth to pick." Remember which other club said it that North Melbourne, when they said we're going to have a honest review and pick the best coach possible.
Yeah,
and then they just went with the coach who was filling in at the time, and we know how that ended up too. So, hey, you know what? Someone's just Rocco mentioned Matty Knights. I'll tell you what, Matty Knights, regardless, I think I've mentioned this before, regardless who took over Sheedy, was going to be completely stuffed. And so that's not a fair trait. Matty Knights, I think, if you have a look at who he brought in, and we've said that before, go back and look and see at his time who he brought into the club, playing wise, etc. He did a pretty good job. Okay, and I think he did it at a better job than the other guy Hurd who took over. To be honest, well, one guy left the club and the other one left it in the shambles.
Yeah. So Peps, I mean, at the moment, if you just look on any sporting betting agency at the moment, they've probably got their list of their top 5 in there. I think Joel Michael says something around the $34 mark, but I don't bet on coaches. I don't look at the coaching markets like that.
Yep. I'm on the $34 market. The thing is, you can only do a $15 bet. That's as much as you can do on a number of these places.
Oh, right.
But I got my person at 34s today due to Joel Michael. I won't let it out, but if you want to find out, I'll give you the initials, AK, and I'm leaving it at that.
Okay. All right. Who knows where it's going to end up? Obviously, you've got your money in backing you. So let's just have a look. Let's have a look. Peps is paying out at $34.
I pay out for a lot less than that. Just give me an opportunity and I'll pay out on anybody for free.
We've already gone through who maybe could be the potential coach of Collingwood, but just jump on any sports bet or any of those betting agencies. Bet responsibly, of course.
Bet responsibly. Call
whatever 1-800-BET. But
and drink and drive.
Jump on and have a look at there. So, Peps, that's around the grounds at the moment because everything at the moment is a bit of a flux. Will we not have a round of football moving ahead? What's going to happen in the next 3 weeks? All those sorts of things. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment. It's going to be a bit tough to try and figure out who's going to do it, who's going to do it. Potentially there could be more coaches. Hey, by the way, just one other thing. Can you believe Carlton are doing this half-season review now?
As opposed to what?
Why?
Oh, okay. To make decisions on the coaches coming forward, on all coaching positions coming forward at that club.
Why?
To see if they need to tell people now it's time to maybe look for a job elsewhere to let people prepare for life after Carlton, if that's the way it goes. And then also, because the market is hot, we've got Collingwood looking for a coach. They feel like, oh, shit, maybe if Carlton are looking down that path, they need to think about, well, maybe we need to,
so just follow on from what everybody else is doing. It just doesn't make any sense why they would do it.
People aren't happy at Carlton, Peps. Carlton are never happy.
Hold on a second. What aren't they happy with? The play. Cripps is staying.
Being shit.
McKay is signed on
for 15 years.
I don't think it's the coach, to be honest. I think it's all the other crap that's going on there. Maybe he's got too much on his plate.
He could. He may need a whole new swing of assistants. I don't know.
Why are they going after Teague for?
Because Teague,
it's a cop out, mate. It's a cop out to always go for the coach.
Every club does it.
It's crap.
Was it Bailey's fault? Was it?
No, it wasn't Bailey's fault. That should have been. They sacked the wrong person. They shouldn't. That should not have been Dean Bailey at all.
Okay, all right.
And by the way, Joel Michael, cracking comment that he's just made now. when it comes to exactly that. And he just said Carlton's issue is their list management. I'll just put it up for everybody to see. Carlton's issue is their list management. They're overpaying players. They're stuffed. Have you seen some of the contracts that this club has thrown around and the money that they've been throwing? Oh, my God.
Correct. And that's what
where you need to be looking.
But we're talking about review, not just on the football field, but in all of the dark corners of the football club.
But the contracts are contracts, mate. You can't change them. It's it. Too bad, too sad.
Oh, I know they're now, but those people who made those decisions, are they still there? Do they need to? Is that something we need to look at moving forward? What is the process for signing these players up to these long-term contracts? Where does it go to? Who makes these decisions? What are the processes that get us there?
Well, that's what cracks me up. That people keep going on about the Brody Grundy situation and how they did this and that. Hey, mate, Eddie, you signed off on that. You're telling me Eddie Maguire, president of the club, wouldn't have signed off on a $1 million contract. So don't go down, it's all the board, whoever was looking after it. It had nothing to do with them. It's part of what he did.
Yeah.
So I'm just sick and tired of boards thinking they know better. Just you just get the off-field stuff right. Let the on-field stuff work out for itself. Stop sticking your nose in the pig's trough.
I hear you, Pete. I hear you.
It's Peps, by the way, but that's
I know. I was thinking of something else.
Well, You know what else, though? Here's one thing. Do you know what's rising? Our rising star for this week, Devon Robertson.
Oh, yeah.
Mate, he has received the round 15 NAB Rising Star for his efforts in the Lions' 44-point mauling of the Cats on the weekend. 16 disposals, 20 pressure acts, 2 goal assists, 4 tackles, and kept Joel Selwood to basically 13 touches on a Thursday night. So it's the first one that the Lions have got all year.
Surprising. Although last year they had a shitload.
Yeah, so Ducks and Drakes, they've got a lot in that second and third year bracket. But it's just nice to see someone getting some reward after a consistent season, not just playing a couple of good games and then expecting that they're going to get one.
He's a bull. He's a genuine midfielder bull.
He's just another one of those Brisbane boys. I'll tell you what, when they play in those jumpers, they just look tough. They just look good. They look tough in those Richmond jumpers. Lions jumpers. It's been a big day. Yeah, but I think they're just going to have to rename it to the James Jordan Award. And I hope it does come in because I've got him and Clayton Oliver in a multi for towards the end of the year. There's always a cash
involved.
James Jordan, hope you win it, my friend, because I've got you into Oliver.
You are as dodgy as Christopher Skase, back in your own business ventures.
Someone has to back him. Alrighty. Hey, J-Dog.
Yes.
Let's get into just something I want to talk about quickly, splashing the cash. Not too much on the contract news this week, but I think the big one to come out over the weekend was Paddy Cripps finally putting to rest a lot of speculation that was going on with him. He signs up again at Carlton, is literally going to finish his career here.
I want that whistle.
What's that? What whistle?
You know the whistle you goes, like you pull it out and it goes,
that one?
Yeah. If there is something just like, oh my goodness, why did you sign that for?
Hey, well, you know what? Maybe he's got what? Maybe
he's got
a high five. Here's your contract. X amount over X amount. High five. That's all he went with. I don't know. He just got faith in the club. He said, I've got faith in the club, and good on him. He's got faith in the club. You know what? Look, listen, if you had to pick, I think we said it a while ago, if you had to pick Essendon, Carlton, or Collingwood as the three teams, who would you go with? Essendon, Carlton, and Collingwood would be the way I'd go now. I just think that Carlton, they're just a little bit away.
Little bit.
No, I don't think they're the worst out there. There's other teams that are in a worse position. But it can turn around quickly, as we know, with what's happened with Essendon this year as well, too. Happened with Fremantle. It's happened with Brisbane as well. Sydney, they've turned it around. I think it's going to be interesting. Yeah, contracts are too long. Hey, the board has to sign off on it. That's exactly the way it goes.
Is Mark LaDuchesne still there? Is he gone into this year?
No, he's gone. LaDuchesne. Yeah, LaDuchesne. I'm sick of saying that name too. He's gone as well too. All right. All right, J-Dog.
Yes.
Now, you wanted to do a bit of a theme going into this week's listener question. So starting off with last week's and then leading into this week's.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
because we definitely seem to have a bit of a thing with our listeners where they like the food question, so we're going to stick with the food
I
question.
know. Just eat responsibly, guys.
All right, so the question last week was, what was your favorite fruit or fruit-flavored thing? So we had...
This was a bit of a fizzer.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. Anyway, it doesn't
No,
matter.
it was shit. Let's be honest, it was shit.
Nick from the Portraits Podcast has come and said the humble lemon. It's a potato of the fruit world, does everything. It goes with everything. It can do everything.
I haven't had
Desserts,
mashed lemon with my sausages.
Hey. Lemon is good over fish and chips. Lemon is good over everything. Lemon is good in your beer. Lemon is good on as a dessert. Lemon tart, all those sorts of things. Lemon is freaking delicious. Lemon really is the hero of most kitchens.
You know what lemon is? Lemon is also very sour, like the Essendon supporters were on Saturday night. Yes.
Jared Hodget's the man to see if you need some instant turf in your house because he makes the best. I don't know what's the word there. Synthetic turf. If you need synthetic turf, Jared Hodget's the man to go see.
Okay, cool.
Tomato, yes, technically a fruit. Can go in everything. I like it. It's not a bad one. I'm not huge on tomato personally myself. I like a little bit of tomato, but I'm not one of those ones you can like eat garden salad and have like the big wedges of tomato like some people would do.
Are you saying they look firm on the outside, but when you cut them open, they're quite soft?
Yeah, sure. If you're going to go with something.
Yeah, a bit like what Geelong served up last week.
Big fan of Wayne McKenzie's response here. Lifesavers, the blackberry pastels, the ones that are a bit soft.
Oh, the Juby ones?
Yeah, they're good. Oh, Peps is gone. See you later, Peps. It's just the Jamie show tonight. All right, Gary McKenzie has said that's sad, Wayne. Oh, Peps, the show was better. We had ratings through the roof, and then you just come back on. Have you broken something again, have you?
The connection dropped out.
No, okay. No worries at all. Ruboy Chatty.
Hold on.
Oh.
Just wait a moment. Just wait a moment. Just wait a minute, everybody. Just give it a moment. Let's just talk amongst ourselves for the moment.
Are you using Railsy's like teacher-issued laptop, which are like terrible?
No, I'm using mine, but the internet just dropped out, so that's why everything. But I have to download the audio before we have to end the stream and start it again, so we can then start recording again.
No, Peps.
I think there's something wrong. I think there's something. Yep, there's been issues going on Facebook.
No.
Yep, toilet break. Go have a toilet break, everybody. All right, and we'll restart this very, very shortly. It's Optus. All right. It's not yes, it's no.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so
but you are fine though, Peps. You are fine. Like I'm getting you clearly.
I just lose all the audio for the recording if we keep going. So what happened was when she was making the pork stroganoff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, it looked good. It was full. It was rich. It was thick.
Mm-hmm.
Bit like Clive Palmer, and yep, absolutely spilt the whole thing over the floor. Yep.
Wow.
Not good.
Wow,
We're doing a Djokovic break at the moment. A Djokovic break. I like that.
All right. So, Peps, what do you want to tell our listeners? What are we going to do here, Peps?
Well, we're just going to wait a moment. I'm just going to wait till the episode is finished downloading. Then I'm going to stop the stream and restart it again. It'll only take a moment or two. Okay. It's just one of those things. Unfortunately, that's the way of technology. I remember when we first started this, we did the show via Morse code.
We did. We actually did.
It was like beep 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 beep. J-Dog, you're funny. Beep 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 beep. And now look where we've gone.
We didn't even have Zoom or anything. We're just going off of mobile phones.
Yeah, and like the big ones, not like the ones in the Matrix where
what's that movie with Will Ferrell and the other guy?
Oh, Step Brothers.
No, not that one. The one where they went out of the nightclub and the idea was to have an outside of the nightclub on the inside of the nightclub.
Night of the Roxbury?
Yeah, the Night of the Roxbury, that's it. Where they brought the outside inside.
I like Step Brothers. When they teabag the drum kit. All right, I'm going to end it. I'm going to start it in a second, okay? Hold on.